All right, you guys should be able to hop on my screen now. We can get this thing going.
Yeah, I see it. Looks good.
Great. Okay. All right, so let's keep an eye on this. But right now, 1089. I'm thinking 1150 in an hour at the end of this thing. I'm gonna wait for a couple more people to come in here, and then we'll get going. Actually, just give it 2 more minutes. But Baldwin, what's up, man? Glad you could come. I know I just reached out on Twitter. Okie dokie. All right, without any further ado, let's get this thing going. All right, you guys still see full screen now? Slideshow mode works out?
Yes.
Great. All right, so we've come this long way, 10 meetings. So it's been a good ride. Pretty much every week we've been doing these, trying to slowly make these better. So this time I kind of prepared a deck again, like the first couple ones we did, and we'll be recording this one. So hope that's all good with you guys. Just know it's being recorded right now. And I will be posting this somewhere in the Discord. Probably be making a website pretty soon where I can put this material, or a blog, or whatever it is. But yeah, so I did recap. There's a couple people who are new here. So basically just a recap of what we are, what Proteus is. It's just a community of crypto enthusiasts and professionals. I added that. I think, at first it was just a bunch of, kids really were interested in crypto. But I think I myself am looking at this now as more of a career path. So I think, and currently meeting a lot of people who are taking this pretty seriously. So I think there's totally, room for taking this at a professional level, and that's what I think we can do with the community. There's been a lot of talk about like the Proteus DAO and possible NFTs, and I think me and Luke and everyone are working out on that. So I think as of right now, we're kind of in this community building stage where we're using the Discord and we're kind of meeting people gradually and bringing them in here. We're getting the conversation going, and I think we'll be doing that for the next couple of months. I'm currently enrolled in a Solidity boot camp, so it's going to be a lot of work over the next 2 months. But coming out on the other side, I should be able to do a bunch of skills, minting contracts, just be able to securely manage a treasury wallet, all those things. So I think that's just going to be important stuff for someone to know, and I'm going out to do that, which is exciting. But it will take some time. But that's certainly not time that we have to waste. I think we can use that time, get the community settled, build it over the next 2 months, as we've been doing, and then maybe launch an NFT. I think there's some sort of advantage to having maybe a public and a private part of Proteus. So, these meetings, the Discord in general, those can be public things that are free and open to all. However, down the road, if we wanted to, have an NFT that kind of forms around a particular community of maybe kind of handpicked people one way, I think that'd be really advantageous. So I think that's kind of the idea right now, but certainly a lot to work. And if anyone wants to help out with that, just reach out. Me and Luke have been kind of planning and working on it for the past couple of weeks. So that's all exciting news. I think also, you guys have probably heard this, but just like the way this whole thing started was just like pretty much based on information, right? So I think crypto in general has been something that's extremely volatile. The idea is eventually this will settle down and become less volatile, but as we're seeing, like, it's still just extremely volatile, and it's extremely important to get your hands on the information you can. So I think one person alone can only get so much. So we create this community, and everyone's been able to share different things, and I hope over time it just becomes a place where we get really kind of curated information coming in here, and that's really what people may end up minting the NFTs and getting access to. But this is all based off a early prophetic sea god who's basically in charge of the volatile nature of the ocean, and he is actually able to predict the future and shapeshift. So that's kind of what we're trying to do with getting our hands on information, is we're trying to adapt accordingly. And that's basically what we're talking about today. I think one of the current shapes that we've been taking form, at least I have, has been into play to earn games. So I'm going to be talking about two games mostly. There may be some people who are really involved in crypto raiders that are coming in a second. I'm going to quickly move inside, guys. There's a fire alarm going off outside, so I'll be back in like 30 seconds. Alrighty, okay.
Want me to put them away?
No, it's all good. Thanks. So basically, play-to-earn games have been a really hot topic over the past couple weeks. There should be some people coming in here who are really involved with crypto raiders, and I'll cover it in some depth too. But I think they can really speak on that if they join in. But the first one's actually not crypto raiders; it's ice poker. So this is a game that's within Decentraland. I basically ended up getting involved with Decentraland, I guess, pretty much the day before Facebook renamed to Meta, which is a good time to get involved. I had actually tried to get involved way earlier. I had heard the concept of investing in like Metaland, real estate in the metaverse rather, and I had kind of pitched that to my family who was involved in real estate their whole lives, and they kind of liked the idea. So we were trying to get money together, and I was like, oh God, how can we spend this much money on this? And then 3 days later it was double, so we never got to it. So anyways, I ended up making an account anyways and walking around the Decentraland, and I happened to find myself in the casino, and they basically, there's an internal team there called Decentral Games. And at that point, they didn't have any poker, but they had some other kind of gaming infrastructure built out, like blackjack and slot machines. And I thought those were really cool. They're basically NFTs that you could get, and they'd all been minted out at that point. And if you had one, you were getting like royalties from the people who were playing, because obviously the house would always win over time. So kind of I missed that as well. But then there was an announcement of their new thing called Ice Poker, which is actually a play-to-earn model, unlike the other games, which is just pure kind of gambling with crypto. This is more play-to-earn. So you're getting paid ice, which is their currency, by playing the game. So I want to back out and just run you guys through the docs a bit here. Let's see what we got. I see Caleb, you finally made it. This is good. Okay. Yeah, so it's been a really cool project. It has a really good kind of white paper, which I'll take you guys through just real briefly. I was actually really lucky in being able to meet the team early on. I think it was during NFT NYC that they had a little get together, and I stumbled in and met them, and they seemed kind of on top of it. So I ended up investing in that point in these ICE wearables, which I'll get into. So basically, the idea here is you're able to mint ICE NFT wearables, which just look like this. There's shoes, there's tops, there's glasses, there's 5 different pieces you can collect, and they mint them out in different waves. Once you have one NFT, you can wear this in game, and this allows you to play ice poker. So you're not playing with any actual currency or any money that you're putting in. Rather, just by having this piece worn, every day you'll spawn in with, I think it's 5,000 chips. And then basically you play the actual game with those chips, as I'll get into here. Where is this here? And there's kind of 2 ways you're making money in the play-to-earn model here. Again, you start maybe with 4,000 chips it is, and then you're playing to fulfill these challenges, to complete these challenges each day. There'll be an easy, a medium, and a hard challenge. And you get the ice kind of corresponding. Obviously, the harder challenge, you get a lot more ice for that. And there's daily challenges, and they're not too hard to complete. They'll take roughly 2 to 3 hours on average of playing to get these all done with for the day. And that'll be your base rate, which will be, obviously here it's 325 ice. And then you'll receive a multiplier on top of that, right? And that multiplier is based off how well you actually play and how many chips you get. So there's this whole kind of just the leaderboard of the day, right? So if you're in the top 5%, you'll receive double the ice. Whereas if you're in the bottom you get, a third of the ice that you would get. So you still are incentivized. Well, it's not just pure gambling and it's play to earn. You're still incentivized to play well and play smart. And it is kind of a competitive thing as far as poker can be. So with those two things, basically you're able to, on days that go well, you can actually make a lot of money. So for instance, there's 5 different pieces that you can wear between the hat, the like the torso, the pants, the shoes, and like the cigarette, whatever it is. And if you were to have all those things, obviously each of those things actually, adds a multiplier on top of that. So basically fully stacked, if you beat all the challenges and play super well in the top 5% with like fully upgraded wearables, you can make like $800 to $1,000 in one day and playing for like 3 hours, which is pretty crazy. Most people, however, do not make nearly that. The appeal for me isn't actually playing, although it started, I was kind of playing. I was like, this is a cool game. I can see this going on. It's actually, once you get the wearables, you're able to delegate them out to other players and they play and you just receive 30% passively. So that's been the idea, is basically letting other people play, delegating these wearables, it's called, out to them, and just receiving the 30% passively. So that's essentially it. Does anyone have any questions with ice poker in general? Because I can go into depth over it. I've been really involved. It's kind of my main thing here too. I think someone may need to. I'm going to quickly mute the person here with this. Here we go. Yeah, so here you go again. And the team has been, their UI is just pretty crazy on their site, and the way they're handling everything has been really, really impressive. So I basically, every week or two, they'll have a mint. They're super competitive. They'll mint out like 1,000 pieces, and I think there's like 5,000 people trying to get them. So I basically have, had a bunch of friends helping out, and we'll all sit down. I know Luke was here last mint in Miami. We sat down at this table with my dad, my brother, Luke. I called in my other friends. We had like 7 computers ready to go at 5 o'clock. And out of those, we were lucky to get 2 and delegate those out. But yeah, they're pretty expensive, but the floor on these things is pretty high too. I think it's close to an ETH per. And obviously, they can kind of pay for themselves in a few months anyways, because you're getting, $25 to $75 a day per wearable passively. So it's a really cool ecosystem. Yeah, I kind of stumbled in at a pretty good time. I think there's still a lot of upside for it. The team actually had a roundtable meeting this morning and talked about their future plans. They're planning on to make a mobile app. And I think that would obviously, expand their player base, more than tenfold. Because not many people actually go and play Decentraland right now. I think they just reached 100,000 daily active users. But obviously, the amount of people who have phones and would be able to download an app and get playing, and if it's play to earn, that'd be really, really substantial. So that's kind of in the future. They just announced that, which is exciting. Yeah, I mean, just to cover here too. And then if anyone has any questions, they can ask. But essentially, this is just kind of their whole ecosystem drawn out, right? So you basically, as a player, you're starting with this loop here. You're spending ETH to do the mint. You're receiving a rank 1 wearable. You can actually upgrade these wearables, and they'll give you more of a % bonus on that total ice, the daily ice that you earn. And so that's kind of advantageous to think about. When you do that, obviously, it goes into a smart contract. They burn the original piece and give you the upgraded one. This is a good kind of mechanism on the ice currency. Obviously, it's deflationary by it being burned, so that kind of helps with the value. And then obviously you have other people playing and earning ice, and XP is just used to upgrade. Yeah, that's basically it. And it's been going really well. They're basically mirroring the growth, if not better, of Decentraland in general, which is doubling month after month. These guys are, I think they just reached 500 or 600 concurrent users, which is playing at the same time, and 5,000 daily users. And that's only because there's only that many wearables. Once they have more wearables, there'll be more people who are allowed to play. So it's an exciting thing. But yeah, if anyone has any questions on that, feel free to ask now. Otherwise, I think I'll pause for a minute and then maybe jump into Crypto Raiders. I want to see who's joined us in the time since, if anyone is from the Crypto Raiders chat. I'm not quite sure there is, so I may just take over there. All right. Here's another one. So I'm basically between these two things. These are like most of my allocation is Ice Poker and Crypto Raiders right now. I'm more actively involved with with Ice Poker in terms of I have a bunch of wearables that I delegate out, and that's been great. I've been in there for a few weeks actually. So Crypto Raiders, I'm just kind of holding a bag of the Raider coin, which kind of is just showing my belief in the overall system. Whereas there's a lot you can do with actually playing the game and because it is play to earn. So I'll go over some of that. I think basically for those who aren't involved, they're just trying to go for this kind of 8-bit nostalgia. It's nothing like new or original really. It's basically it's a dungeon raider and you're going in and you can actually pop in. I think here I have a raider here, so we'll go on a mission just to see what it's like. You end up buying these raiders for, I think it's like, honestly, it's worth checking. I think the floor may have just gone up or down. Let's see.
It's like it's 0.2 Ethereum for a character.
0.2?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, and there's been some volatility with that because of some sort of recruitment event we'll talk about. But yeah, I basically just snagged this guy here, 0 XP, level 1. So every week you'll have 5 missions, which you can click on, and then you can see the missions you have access to. So this guy is level 1. He has no items on him. He's very weak. I can actually see his original stats, I think, here. Okay, just straight up 0 on everything. So that's fantastic. We'll see what we got here. Yeah, so I think basically you'll have the ability to pick one of these missions here. You'll see that they have different levels you can raid with. Once your character dies, you don't get anything. The idea eventually is that they're adding something called permadeath to the game, where when you do die, your NFT is actually burned and everything with it. So that creates like a huge incentive not to die. But right now, there's actually a lot of upside in that's not a feature yet. So you can play this game and be as risky and take as many risks as you want without actually losing anything. Because if you do die, nothing happens. You lose the mission, of course. You don't get any gold or items, but nothing outrageous happens. So we'll go for obviously just a level 1 mission here. It goes all the way up to I think 10, and they have these different kind of rankings within that from normal to heroic. I'll just show you guys what it's like here. And obviously it's very, very rudimentary game right now. This is one of the there we go. I'm not even controlling this character right now. It's just kind of automatically kind of going in the web browser right now. It has some sort of little story here. The character just walks around automatically until it finds, it looks like it's, Pokemon Gen 3, whatever it is. It'll find some sort of monster to fight or something like that eventually. Here we go. This looks like something's here. No. Is that what that is? Let's see. Okay. All right. Maybe this is the first mission, but I've never had one where you don't fight anyone, but that's good to know. I can close this and we'll run another one real quick. I think maybe that's how you get your first item, is you just pick it up. So let's see if that gave us anything when I refresh here. Okay, let's see. Let's say refresh again. Okay, got a little boomerang here, so I will equip that. Basically, you'll see here that the boomerang gives you a bunch of different stats. So the game, when you guys play, if you were to play, you may not see all this stuff. There's actually a Crypto Raiders plugin that I recommend you guys get if you do want to play this game, where it gives you all these stats that are super helpful. So we'll equip this thing here and update. And we can actually, when we go back to another duel, there's an option to simulate. I won't do that now, but that basically can help tell you the predictions of you actually fighting the creature and winning versus losing. Let's pop into this next one here and see what happens now that we have a weapon. Maybe there'll be something to fight. Yeah, anyway, so the game is like super, there's nothing, it's not, I wouldn't say it's boring, but I only play like 5 minutes a week. I think if I had to play more, it'd be pretty boring. But that's because this game's not ported to Unity. So I think that's one of the big things on the roadmap is porting this to Unity. And once they do that, they'll be able to take advantage of that whole game engine and build out like an actual legitimate game and add a bunch of features. And I'm sure you'll be able to walk around your character and, you know, go to whatever. Okay, again. Some sort of like free market and trade and do all these things. So they've been just adding at a rapid rate. I think they just announced on their Twitter right before this meeting an update for like some sort of other like potion thing, which we can cover. But right now, because they're not ported to Unity, it's super rudimentary and it's not much besides this playing here. But in essence, now that you've seen that, that's basically what you would do. Obviously, as you level up, you'll be able to do, you know, stronger missions. And I had hoped, I guess we'll try one more because it takes 2 minutes. We'll just raid a harder mission and die and see what that's about. Did I get anything to equip real quick? Okay, so this is saying that this shabby wand is not as good as what I already have, so I'm not gonna put that on. But we will do one more mission. Let's do this one here. This probably will not turn out too well, but it is kind of crazy looking at this now, like how, here we go. I mean, how basic this is to have a $60 million market cap is kind of outrageous. But, you know, that being said, what their long-term goal is and what other games are, like DeFi Kingdoms, you still got like a 20x before that happens. So there's a lot of potential. Okay, so basically this is what most of the game is. You end up finding a monster and you have two options. You can either attack or run away. There's like no purpose of running away right now because if you die, there's no risk in anything. So you may as well just attack. When you do attack, there's not much happening now. As you get more equipment and armor and stuff, like there's better like chances for critical damage and evading attacks and stuff like that. But now it's just basically I'm just going to click and continue to click, and that's about all I can do. Once we get this thing down, I was supposed to lose this fight, I was thinking, but we're just missing each other here. It could be a close one. I think I got him. I got him in the bag. Yep, there's a crit. Okay, big hit to end it. All right, so yeah, basically same thing happens at the end. You just get some sort of, I think this is my first piece of armor, which is great. All the stuff I'm getting here, these items aren't really worth anything. So the idea is they're going to be adding an item marketplace pretty soon. So a lot of people who are really involved, some of my brother's friends are like super innovators, and they're playing like super high level accounts, and they're basically raiding these dungeons and fighting these monsters, and they're getting items that they're planning to sell in the item marketplace for a profit. They're basically just doing some simple math before they play, which is, now that we go over to the, okay, they just added this here. So there's the bank here. Okay. So, I mean, Raider changes every day. Like literally, I think yesterday, they didn't even have this whole wallet and quest tab. It was just the bank. So I was going to show you that, but it's even better, which is good that they're changing everything this fast. But basically, yeah, you connect your wallet, but you can stake Raider, and you're earning their other currency, their in-game currency called ARM. So what ARM does is you can actually spend that on different things. The main purpose is for 25 ARM, you can buy another raid. So like if you run out of your weekly raids and you want to keep playing, you just start spending ARM. So a lot of people have a ton of staked Raider, and they're getting a ton of ARM in return. And they have so much ARM in return that they're just playing this game all day long, because once they run out of 5, it's worth it for them to spend 25 ARM, because they're making the bet that the item that they get from when they win the raid, that they'll be able to sell for a profit, which is probably a good bet to take. So some of my brother's friends are literally playing this game like the whole day at like really high level accounts. And I think they're trying to obviously scale and delegate and, you know, build out bots and stuff is the next kind of step on that, because it's tough to play this game yourself for 4 hours or 8 hours it is a day. And vice versa, you can also stake Raider and RM to earn Raider. So then you can create this cool loop where you're earning Raider from the staking LP, from providing liquidity down here, and you can put it back in here and you get the RM, and then you're pretty much having this engine of like RM that you can spend and keep playing all day. So if you were to go really, really into actually playing this game, I'd recommend thinking about how you can take advantage of the tokenomics in that way. For me, I've just been holding the token for about a week, which has been pretty well. I think this is kind of starting to explode. The updates are literally every day. I think there's still a lot of upside for people to get in. I'd hope to have this meeting like earlier, just because I think every day waiting is like you're missing out on something perhaps. But if anyone does have any money in Polygon and wants to just buy some Raider or swap for some Raider, highly recommend that. Non-financial advice, of course, though. Could totally just crash and burn. But I spoke last week with Luke and my friend, or my brother's friend, Adam, who was just kind of like the guy with Raider, and he just knows all this stuff about the team, the founders, and everything like that, and all these updates. So after spending an hour with him, I just got pretty bullish on the whole idea, and I went in. I'm pretty heavily allocated now. I think in general, like there's just some asymmetry that we're tapping into if you were to get in now, because you are coming in before the Unity port, which is massive, right? Because if this were to port to Unity, which is their big plan, and be an actual game, and the amount of growth that would come with that would be pretty outrageous. So you want to get in before that, so you can help realize that. Also, just like for your sake, if you do want to play, you're playing without the risk of your character getting burned. There's no permadeath feature yet, so that's another point of asymmetry you're getting in on. You're coming in before the item marketplace. I don't think many people even know that this is coming, so I can't imagine how many items my brother's friends who are playing 6 hours a day, I think they're doing 500 to 1,000 missions or 1,500 missions a day and getting probably an item on at least half those, and doing that day after day. They probably have, with account after account, they probably have thousands of tens of thousands of items. And they're betting that when this marketplace opens up, they can pretty much sell the stuff and reap the rewards for that. So really cool opportunity. And then also, like, there's this whole just comparables thing. Let's check what it is now real quick. I think DeFi Kingdoms, what they're at. So their total market cap's $1.2 billion. And that's kind of the comparable game. Let's see, I'll refresh here. I think it's already gone up a little bit from we were 189 to start. Okay. Yeah, so we're at 60 now. So obviously still a lot of runway. I mean, if you can compare apples to oranges, whatever it is. But that's what people are doing. That's kind of what the narrative is. So we're thinking we can still get, I think that's 20x in market cap before we would be able to dethrone DeFi Kingdoms. So it's just been kind of a wild little graph here. It was literally like a week ago, like it was just up every single day. Like I don't know if there was it didn't go down for more than like a 30-minute period for like a week. We had this little like sell here, and then it just recovered instantly. And that's when I actually went in a lot heavier, because once I saw right here a few days ago on Monday, when overnight it did crash like 4 a.m. and it immediately rebounded and then some. I was like, okay, like there's a lot of like, I think market resistance here. We can kind of afford some volatility. And that's kind of what's been happening. It'll go down now sometimes, but every time it does, it kind of triggers some sort of, big thing. And now it's been really up and down. But obviously we had this Twitter announcement like an hour ago, and since then it's starting to go up $1.50 already. So we'll see where that takes us. I can honestly see this, taking us back up to near the peak at 1350 or higher within the next couple of days, based off this new news and the new website and everything. I know some people have been asking, I did create like a guide too. It is kind of confusing to get Raider, or to buy it, or to ape into it rather, if you'd like, without getting just robbed with gas fees. So I created a little guide here. I can send this to anyone if they want to, get some Raider from either fiat or just kind of some Ethereum mainnet funds they want to move over to Polygon. I found a really good bridge that charges like $10, $15 tops. So, that will save. And then once you're in Polygon, there are, basically the fees are paid in Matic, but it's practically pennies. So if anyone needs that, just like let me know. I may put that in the chat below. I'm looking at my notes here, see if there's anything else. Luke, am I missing anything from when we spoke with Adam that was kind of important with Crypto Raiders?
No, just the crypto, just the bank.
Yeah,
like staking.
yeah. Okay, so a little bit more on the bank maybe, because I think like, Adam's whole strategy, right, is, and I'll go back so we can kind of follow along here maybe. calling it the wallet. Okay, and then it's staking. Okay, so here's the bank. So I'm not logged in here. I don't think I have any staked on this account. What Adam's basically doing is he got in pretty early. He is if I can reveal his secrets here, he's basically staking a bunch of Raider. He's getting a bunch of ARM, obviously, which I said he's playing with all day long. But he's also involved in these liquidity pools. I think he's in I think it's like RM USDC or one of those ones. And he's getting Raider from that. So that's his kind of loop. He's getting the Raider and the ARM and kind of growing it like that. Obviously, he's kind of siphoning some out to play with because he's spending the ARM on the keys so he can play more each day. But I think what they just announced, actually, let's see what this was. It was something to do with the staking. So now I think with the amount, I just really went over this like a second before the meeting started, but they basically, I think they're letting you, with the amount that you have staked, the amount of Raider you have staked, now they're basically making it a part of the game or a mini game where you can put that to work and basically, say you have 100 Raider staked, it seems like you can like start doing these quests, which are kind of a passive income version of that, where you can get these 100 Raiders or however much you have staked to start going out and accumulating resources for you. And then alongside this whole thing, they added this whole like possible, we had this Raider chat, people were freaking out about this, but like there's this idea of Grimweed, which is some sort of like subcurrency, which is probably going to be used for some sort of farming and maybe potion making. And you can just see where this is going, right? If anyone's played any sort of, RPG or Minecraft or whatever it is, it's, you can keep expanding and adding these things, but the amount of utility and kind of excitement that they're adding is pretty cool. I actually want to check out real quick what this link is because the econ. Okay, so that's what this wallet they just added was. So they probably just added this like minutes before I started the presentation because this was an hour ago. They probably launched the new site, which is very cool. I don't know why I'm not even logged in here, but it's probably just a idea. But yeah, here's his new currency. So we'll see that people are pretty excited for that, for potions and other things. I saw, okay, so now there's this quest thing we were just talking about. They had some other thing that they revealed. I don't know where it is. There's some sort of rudimentary marketplace that's already exists with like collecting different foods and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, that's basically Crypto Raiders. I think just hearing what Adam had to say about it, he talked a lot about the team and their vision and those things. And I think, I already had a little bit and was testing around with it because I had just heard in secondhand them talking about it quite a bit. But I think after hearing that, pretty bullish on it. And I think for the next couple weeks, it could be a big hit. So that's basically, what I wanted to share with you guys. Anyone have any questions though regarding either Ice Poker or Crypto Raiders or any other play to earns? Afterwards, I'm just gonna toss it on to Luke and he'll present a little recap and we can just chat and talk until the end of the hour. But any questions?
Max, I have 2 questions.
Go for it.
Awesome. First of all, from a development perspective, has anyone taken a look into the feasibility of building bots for Raiders?
It's massive. If you are able to do it, I can pair you with someone who has all the Raiders, and you guys could make an absolute killing. But yes, people are looking into it, and Adam's actually looking into it now. He doesn't have a technical background, but he's just really big into Raiders. Yeah, it's totally something you could do. As you saw, like it's just 2 buttons. You're pressing attack and you're going forward. It's extremely easy. And the team actually, there are a lot of games that are, you're playing for fun. If you were to have, bots enter the ecosystem, they totally ruin everything for everyone, right? You have people playing and then putting their hard work in, and then there's bots who are leveling up even faster. That just ruins it for everyone. However, with this ecosystem, that's not necessarily the case. They actually almost encourage the use of bots. They figure that people are already or are going to be using them. And it actually just kind of grows and feeds into their whole ecosystem, and they're ready for it and encouraging it almost. So someone just got to do it. I think if you made one and either sold out to other people or just did it for yourself, or some other people who I can connect you with, or we could think about. But like total opportunity, yeah. You think it's something hard to do, or what do you think?
Well, it depends on what type of measures they've taken to prevent it, because they want it. But with a basic Selenium build, you could do something like that fairly quickly. It would actually be trivially easy, to be honest.
Yeah, that seems like it.
Which is interesting. What is and I'm not super well versed in the specific technicalities and jargon used in the crypto space.
No worries.
But what's like the barrier to entry? Like how much currency do you have to purchase to play the game?
Right on. Actually, yep. I'll show you real quick. So right now, basically, the way you would do to get these things, I'm going to move from Solon to, let's see. You'd go to a secondary market like OpenSea. Originally you're able to mint these characters is the term in crypto from the site firsthand once they release them. They release them in generations. So as you'll see here, these are all Gen 3 characters. I think there's like 10,000 per generation. In Gen 4 is being released next week. Basically, you're able to buy them with Ethereum. So the cheapest one here on the top would be, when you convert, $800. So this is already double what it was yesterday. I mean, not yesterday, last week. So the price is going up, but it's not too bad. There should be a significant decrease next week. At the moment the reason why people are spending so much right now is because they have this whole recruitment event, they're calling it. So when you have like a Gen 3, for instance, starting next week at the recruitment event, you can use your Gen 3 to go mint a Gen 4 for free. So basically you're getting 2 for 1 with this price now. Where if you wait for next week, the whole market's gonna be flooded with Gen 4, probably at $100 to $200 is your entry at that point.
Gotcha. And then you said your friends were playing this all day.
Yeah.
With multiple nodes. What are they netting in terms of revenue?
Yeah, so it's kind of hard to say now. I think because it's not in US dollar, they're getting this coin, which during the course of this meeting has already gone up. I guess almost 1%. Yeah, so they're and I don't know for sure, but it sounds like they have hundreds of thousands of dollars of Raider, but they got it when it was around $1. So they may be over $1 million now, which is kind of whack. But I'm not sure how much they're getting from actually playing the game. That may determine, or that may play out only when the item marketplace comes into the picture and they can actually sell the items they're getting. Right now it's kind of speculation, but they are obviously staking and getting a lot of Raider, and that's been going up as we're seeing here a lot. So definitely a lot of upside still to happen too, but I'm not quite sure how much kind of per day that they're thinking. I'd imagine he showed me some math that he's doing, which is something that we would function into like making a bot, where you basically, once I run out of these missions, I can't play again for another week. I think it's next Wednesday or whatever it is. However, I can just spend 25 ARM to get a new key, right? So their math basically is if this dungeon right here cost 1 key, that basically costs 25 ARM. As we get down here, some of these cost 3 keys, but it only counts as 1 raid. So by definition, now you're spending, the keys are equivalent to like the item basically. So now you're kind of getting, you're paying a third basically, because it's still going to cost you 1 mission to do this raid, but it's going to be worth 3 keys, and the keys are basically worth so they just have some sort of math like that, but they're basically doing these bigger missions in the hardest level. They also have this whole community, which kind of, when a new dungeon is created, they quickly figure out what the odds are for the item drops, and I'm not sure how they're doing this, but they pretty much figure out what are the rarest items we need to get our hands on, and then, what are the odds? And certain dungeons are obviously better, and certain monsters are harder than they should be to beat based off the items, or easier than they should be to fight based off the items they give you. So they figure that out, and then they factor that in, and then they just keep hitting the button all day long once they figure out a good economic bet. So that's what they've been doing. But I think, yeah, if you're able to build a bot, probably someone like you could build it in 2 days, probably make tens of thousands of dollars a day. which is crazy.
That sounds like a pretty interesting proposition.
Yes,
That's for
man.
sure.
That's definitely, and I'd be happy to help you out with that if you need any help. But I think it's something we've been talking about. We're just waiting for the right person to walk in, and it could be you.
Yeah, I'll have to think about it a bit.
Cool. Yeah, definitely.
My final question.
Mm-hmm.
What browser extension are you using for that tab coloring? Because that is up at the top where you have the different tabs.
Oh, this is just native. This is native to Google. So basically, you'll just go here.
No.
Yeah, add a new group.
What?
Yeah, just whatever.
You have. I'm not even joking.
Yeah, it's actually so helpful. And then look at this.
Let me see.
It's not. Well, I think you can open and close these accordingly. Sometimes it glitches, so I can't close this one right now. But yeah, it's all native to Google, but it's pretty handy actually.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate you answering the questions.
Yeah. No worries. Great questions. Anyone else got anything? Yeah, I could probably pass it on to Luke here in the next chapter here. Yeah, just the weekly recap. Luke, do you have your screen you want to present, or what do you think's best?
Yeah, I'll present my screen.
Great. Okay, let me hop off here. Okay.
Okay, perfect. Okay, can everyone see this?
It is loading. Yep, I'm good.
Beautiful. Okay, this week's market recap. Also, if at any point you have a question, please just ask it. I don't mind anyone interrupting. I'm sure it's okay with Carlin as well. Yes. So Carlin and I made this deck. I can take you through the steps if you want to know the steps of what we usually do, and if you have any suggestions on something we should add, or if our narrative is wrong, please let us know. I would like to get their narrative of what's going on correct. So, the biggest thing, actually, Carlin, you can start with this.
What's up, everybody? All right. So, yeah, on Wednesday, some info from the Federal Reserve meeting was released from like their discussion, the FOMC. And so pretty much what they want to do is reduce their balance sheet by like stopping bond purchasing, which is they want to do it by increase interest rates by like March, which is kind of quicker than what people were expecting from like last year. So, I mean, as you can see on Wednesday, like the stock market got nailed. The 10-year bond yields are just like skyrocketing. And obviously like the big sell-off happened everywhere. And crypto took a hit too on Wednesday. It's still kind of going down now. And so like, I don't know, just the whole kind of general macro environment, people are they're just kind of scared with these like high interest rates that might be coming in. And so, I mean, that with interest rates going up like this, like that would put pressure on the stock market, like as you can see. And so, I mean, investors could go to riskier investments to try to increase like their returns, which would be like things like crypto, which is why like it could be good for crypto, but also like if companies can't borrow enough money with higher interest rates, it might be like less money flowing in, which could be bad. So that was just what kind of happened on Wednesday. It was kind of a big event, and the markets definitely saw it happen and reacted to it kind of negatively. But I guess we're just gonna have to see what happens next.
Yeah. So actually, right when this graph right here, the white one, it shows the performance of Bitcoin and Ethereum right when the Fed releases its schedule for quantitative easing. So it's just a big factor in crypto because there are stable coins within the ecosystem, and there's just so much money now, and everything's kind of tied to institutions. So whatever the bonds market is doing will just reflect directly into crypto, and then based on the open interest in the cryptocurrency market, it could drive the price really, really low, which is kind of what we saw. And we saw some liquidations here. Nothing similar to what we saw in December. That was a pretty dramatic drop, but we definitely saw it contribute a little bit to the fall. So just some search trend updates. after like looking through, I've been looking at search trend keywords and correlations for years now, and the term crypto, I just wanted to like show everyone, it's probably the best one as a proxy for like excitement, I would say, like within like any ecosystem. So like right now I'd say the ecosystem right now that's most popular is Ethereum. Like it has the biggest NFT projects. And if you look at the crypto search volume keyword against the price of Ethereum, you can see the ups and downs are pretty similar. So to go very bullish on Ethereum, I would say you should definitely see crypto and other similar keywords really taking off if you're taking big open interest or leverage positions. The only time to do it is probably when the keywords are also taking off. So you have a lot of interest from retail investors. And then just something really interesting that I found. If you look at NFT sales on the Ethereum blockchain and you put it against the NFT search volume worldwide, you can actually see, well, the first thing to note is NFT search volume worldwide is at an all-time peak, and it has been for about 2 weeks now. But it does not correlate at all to NFT sales, which is really interesting. I don't know if anyone has some sort of explanation for this, but looking at the 7-day moving average of NFT sales, they do peak similarly around November, October, but there's been a sharp decline, and interest is still really high, which I just find really interesting. If anyone has an explanation of why they think this is happening, please let me know. And yeah, back to Carlin.
Yeah, so I mean, you guys have seen the price of ETH kind of come down over the last couple weeks, and I mean, normally when this kind of happens, more money can flow into NFTs because they become cheaper, and so people kind of think like, oh, I'll put my money in NFTs. The NFTs go up while the price of ETH is coming down, and so I mean, just the last week, the Bored Ape Yacht Club has been going crazy. Like ever since they passed like punks and floor price, like just last week they hit 1 billion in total sales, which is nuts. Like these like you can see the floor prices right there for the Bored Ape Yacht Club. I think earlier this week it was at like 75, which is just insane. Same with the Mutant Ape Yacht Club. Like, I mean, I don't know how many people here in the Salon NFTs, but they purchased one like the beginning of December, a Mutant Ape for like 6 Ether, and now it's up 10 Ether. It's insane. And so also these Mega Mutant serums, which are like what people use to make the mutant apes from the Bored Apes. I don't really know exactly how it works, but they have to buy the serums, and then there's like 3 different like tiers of serums. There's like M1, M2, M3, and so I think it's either M1 or M3 are the best, and that's like these Mega Mutant serums. And so like there's only like 10 of them, I think, and some I think it was like the Big Go CEO. Some CEO purchased this for like 5.3 million, which is like absolutely insane. And so like that's like the top tier serum that they'd use on like an ape to get like the best mutant ape, I think. But just like the prices that these are going for like right now is absolutely insane. And so like the crypto markets, like currency markets might be down a little bit, but like there's always something going off in like the crypto like just environment. And I think right now the Bored Apes is seeing just crazy prices.
Yeah,
So.
just real quick on that before you go on, but I totally agree. I think for one, yeah, there's always something. If the whole market's getting torn apart, there's usually something, or always something, I think, that's probably crushing it. So it's a matter of finding that and adapting to that. Those serums are crazy, and it's hard to imagine that would actually be a bet that would pay off, and I think that's how the buyer was looking at it as an investment, thinking that he's going to, get 20 mil for that, or after he actually uses it on his ape. They also look like pretty, like, I think the apes in general, I was talking about this with Luke, but like, some people like the style of apes, but sometimes they're just they're pretty kind of disgusting looking, and then that's kind of what they're going for, especially with the mutant ones. But have you seen what they look like when they use the Mega Mutant serum? They look like it's like 3-dimensional. It's pretty crazy.
No, I actually haven't. That's wild.
Yeah, check it out. Check it.
Part of the reason I feel like a CEO or somebody would buy it for that much money, like being the top bidder, is like kind of just advertising, because like that gets their name out there because it's so public. Like they know, like people know who bought it, and so like they see like, oh, this company purchased like the best NFT for, like, that gets their name out there a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah,
I definitely think that's just like a whole that's what's happening in the NFT space right now. It's like who is buying it, and then you just follow those people. And much similar to like my idea with whale watchers of like what are the whales are doing, but like Gary V has one of these. I know he has one of these. I looked at his account on OpenSea. He has a couple serums and things like that. So and I don't know if anyone saw it. My new profile picture is an alien friend, and I was just in their Discord, and everyone's just talking about how like Lizzo just bought an alien friend. So it's really all about like notable people buying into a project, and then that like creating excitement with like their followers. So yeah, just one last little graph here is just the same thing. It's just showing the weekly. It's the 7-day moving average of NFT sales on the Ethereum blockchain. That's about it. As you can see, we peaked around the end of August, beginning of September. But despite all of this, like the most popular NFT project I would say is the Bored Ape Yacht Club, and they're just absolutely killing it. And I think that would probably explain why NFTs are still at an all-time high in search interest.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. They also just came out like a bunch of merch and stuff that like you can only get if you're like a holder, and people are just like reselling that too, and it's just more advertising. It's crazy.
Yeah, a lot of celebrities buying in too. I think it's kind of it. It's like the celebrities just have so much money to throw at things, and they're like, okay, like this is a status thing. I'm a celebrity. I want to maintain my status if the world were to go very crypto-esque, which it may. So they're throwing some money into it. And now, obviously, when you get some, Jimmy Fallon or Snoop Dogg, whoever it is, buying one, it causes a news storm, and people are like, oh shit. So there's just kind of a turnover, I think, from their kind of original crypto community into the hands of famous people, which will be interesting to see how that plays out down the road. If your community is a bunch of people who don't really understand crypto and just kind of want it for status, if that's going to eventually be the downfall of the apes, we'll find out. Because I think they've been really great in the fact that they've built a community that really understands crypto really well, but it's kind of changing the hands.
definitely a good idea. I want to get a list together. I just thought like I guess I've been thinking about this for a while, but like if anyone knows like notable NFT people that like when they buy a project, it's usually a good idea to follow them. If anyone has anyone that they follow, like maybe like Gary V or maybe just someone really smart that just like find their OpenSea, and then you can look them up on Etherscan, and then we could try to make like a dashboard of all these accounts that people watch, and then if like multiple people are like hopping into this new project, it's probably a good idea to follow them. So
Yeah, me and Sean were looking at the like pulling data from Etherscan today for like a website or something. We're going through it a little bit, so try to get something like that going for sure.
Yeah, no, definitely a great idea. I think also with these NFTs and the communities, I mean, my general idea, and just going to talk about this for a couple minutes while we close up, is the value of the NFT is basically, linked to the value of the community. So with the apes, they were able to just get a really stellar community of, initial members. We're seeing the opposite, with all these people who are trying to replicate the apes. For example, I guess I'll use Sigma Sharks for example, even though it's not even the best one, their community was actually somewhat decent, I think. But we have the founders kind of, making the actual thing, and it's basically they hype it up for a few months and they're selling 10,000. There's a whitelist, and everyone's trying to advertise and get a bunch of people in here for the whitelist just because they want to buy this NFT, and they're not there because they believe in the project. Really, they're there because they want some money. And there's a bunch of people who are hopping the Discord, and they're just saying, when drop, when mint. And those are, I think, the people who really destroy the communities before they even start. And I don't think crypto punks or crypto raiders had any of those people. I think they were built really organically, and that's exactly what we're trying to do with Proteus. So I think never really just like flashy marketing or anything like that. It's better just to grow slowly and really. I think there's something to be said with kind of even handpicking a community with the whitelist, so that you can ensure that it grows in a controlled way and that the community is as strong as it can be. And then hopefully that will reflect in like the value of the NFT. So I think that's what we're going to be going for in the months ahead.
Also, just to add on of kind of like why I think the Bored Ape Yacht Club is taking off like so much more right now versus like CryptoPunks, because like we saw CryptoPunks as like like one of the best NFTs in the beginning, but it looks like Bored Ape Yacht Club is kind of taking over that.
Right.
But I think part of that is because the Bored Ape Yacht Club NFTs actual like the owners actually have the intellectual property rights to their NFTs, but there's some kind of copyright issues with Larva Labs and CryptoPunks, so they don't have the same like IP rights, and so it's like an issue when like a company like Adidas or something like wants to use their NFT to like be like a face of a brand, and so like the fact that there was a lot of issues just like with people trying to do that with CryptoPunks
Right.
that didn't like happen with Bored Ape Yacht Club just because of like the legal rights behind it. And so like that's just kind of like a reason that like over the last couple months like the Bored Apes have really like taken off versus like the CryptoPunks kind of like staying where they are.
Yeah, no, I think it's totally true. I actually, at NYU, I sat in, they have like a blockchain law class in the law school. Obviously, you can't do this undergrad, but I was just sitting in with a friend, and some guy from Dapper Labs came and he spoke about this exact issue. And actually, it could have been Dapper, I think, if that's what I said. I don't know which one's which. They did CryptoKitties and like Top Shot, whatever it is. But he was saying that they're working on this giant deal with the NFL to basically like create these like NFT tickets, and then like someone who's viewing the game would then be delivered like a certain like clip at random of the like a video clip at random with different rarities to like so like someone would get the touchdown, someone would get some random ass guy running like. But then they were like, no, we can't do that because like we can't give the people the rights to like edit this if they can like take, I don't know, Tom Brady and put a mustache on him, like that's going to cause they can't control the image of the NFL or the brand anymore, and that's an whole issue. So it's really interesting. I know with like CryptoKitties, and I think probably with apes is like you get that access to use that and print that cat on merchandise and sell it and make a profit and whatever you want. So just real quick, anyone's welcome to dip. This is kind of going over time, but I want to show you this site real quick. It's nothing special, but it's just a good thing based on what you said. So let me load it up. You guys can keep chatting. Okay, let's see what they're doing. Because this is just something to think about. Let me share my screen again. Okay, go back to Discord, and we'll go to share screen. Okay, I'm just sharing real quick for a minute here. All right, you guys see this Dolphins DAO?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, this is one of the 1,000 things that got spammed in Discord, but like every once in a while, because we're entertaining the idea of doing our own kind of Proteus NFT and building that, I do like to click on them and see what they're actually doing. And this one's got some interesting stuff. I don't think anything to like, get too excited about or mirror, but just interesting. So, for one, their whole premise is there's going to be 100 dolphins, and they auction one dolphin off every day for 100 days. So now they're on day 21. They're 3 weeks in. They're on Solana, so that's what you bid with, obviously. And you can see like the past ones, like today's is like a chef or something like that. Whatever it is, businessman, whatever. So, yeah, and I think some are selling for more, but generally they kind of found their price discovery has already happened, and they're selling for around 1,500, maybe slightly more. But interesting. But yeah, what I was saying here is what's the deal here? So like the artwork is completely open source and free to modify. So it's Creative Commons 0 license. I need to look into what that one is, but it sounds like, you could buy whatever businessman here, and I don't know if you can change it to anything, if you're supposed to if there's some way of reinforcing it and saying, hey, like your dolphin should always be a dolphin and it should always be the business dolphin. But aside from that, you can do whatever you want with it. Or if someone can just make this a picture of like just a turtle or whatever, I'm not sure. But I just thought it was interesting in that regard, but also that they're doing kind of one a day. What do you guys think about the different ways you've seen NFT communities mint? Because I think the 10,000 at once can be kind of scary. I know I was involved with the Sigma Sharks with a bunch of these other people here. They sold a couple thousand, but they wanted to sell like 8,000 or something. They didn't sell out. And like the moment you don't sell out, like that's just like a huge red flag. Everyone gets nervous. FUD just starts pumping, and then the whole project kind of falls apart. Whereas with Supreme or any brand, like they'll purposely make the demand smaller than the supply. So they'll measure the supply, know what that is, and then they'll go underneath that with the supply so that it always sells out. And there's always people who are like, oh shit, I should have gotten it. And then the next mint they do the same thing. So that's what I like about Ice Poker. Like it's kind of annoying. I don't always mint wearable. But I know that they're gonna keep the demand beneath the supply, and that's what you really want. So I think me and Luke were discussing different ways which we could entertain this for Proteus, whether it's like, yeah, we start off with 100 or we go in different waves, something like that. But like we'll collect over the next 3 months like a dream team basically of people from the investment side, the developer side, everything within crypto, and then kind of give them whitelist access. So when the time comes around, hopefully we'll already have that built-in demand to sell the supply, and then be able to do a couple minutes after that and plan it like that. But any ideas in terms of minting or comments?
This is more of a general question.
Yeah, go for it.
I know very little about NFTs, although I understand the concept.
Mm-hmm.
What has differentiated the success stories from the failures?
Right, I'm not. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Go for it.
Yeah, no, I can start. I'm sure other people are ready to jump on this one too. It's a great question. I think like what you saw with like original communities, like the Bored Apes and CryptoPunks, these were the ones who kind of set the whole model, which is they came out and they basically created a collection of 10,000 different NFTs. I'll just pop in to show you this. It's the best way to do it. Let's see. OpenSea. Bored Apes. Okay. So they'll just start, and I don't know if anyone knows the answer to this. I'm not sure if they minted them all at once, but a long time ago, they minted all these things out. So they basically said, hey, we created 10,000 things at random. We're going to mint them out, which means you go to our website on the day of our mint, and at 5 o'clock or whatever it is, you're able to press a button, hook up your wallet, your MetaMask wallet with your crypto funds in it, and if you have whatever it is, I don't know, they're probably like 0.01 Ethereum or like $100 to get or less at the beginning, you can mint. And then when you do so, you basically will receive one at random. You won't know what it looks like or what number it is beforehand, only after. And they have different rarity levels, which are based off the traits. So for instance, like an orange background among all the 10,000 apes, 13% have this. So that's not necessarily a very rare trait. Neither are these kind of 8% ones, but this wreath that he's wearing on his head being less than 1%, that's what makes this one really rare and what makes it worth a lot more. That's how it started, at least. However, and that's what a lot of these other things mirror. They come out with 10,000 or so, and they divide, with different traits. Some are being a lot rarer than others. However, and that's what kind of gave success to the Bored Apes and things like that early on. There's been a flood of like thousands and thousands of people trying to mirror this and fail because their communities aren't like strong enough, and they're bringing in a bunch of 12-year-olds who want to mint and just sell because they want to, be rich or whatever it is. And those kind of crash and burn really fast. They're not really worth anything. So that's where it comes down to the community, and that's where I think where Bored Apes kind of crushed it is their community is just so good. If you have an ape, it means something, and if you're in the community, you're really invested in it, and it's a part of your life. So that's kind of what separates, I think, at least at this level. Yeah.
I totally agree with Max there. It's just like being a part of like the yacht club. It's like it's literally being a part of like the like it's like being in the club. It's being in the country club. It's like buying membership. Like that's the value of the Bored Ape Yacht Club is the floor price to join the network. Like that's what it is. And like the hashtag apes follow apes. Like that's what gives Bored Ape Yacht Club so much value is like apes helping out each other, like being in the community. And like for an NFT project to actually like make it, everything has to go well. The mint has to go well. The like people getting it has to be fair. Like the Mechaverse I invested in and just like completely crashed and burned because the metadata that released that had like the rarity of each one was accessible by some people before they were revealed of like how rare your mecha was. So like that just killed it killed the project right there. Like everyone was so excited for it. They looked really great. But and then at the same time, like the NFTs can't look too similar to each other. Like there's so many things that have to go well. And if one of them doesn't really go well, then the project kind of dies. So it's like it's really important to like make sure you have everything set up before you do an NFT launch. Like, because if you don't, then like one bad thing can like make everyone in the community not want to be a part of it anymore. So,
Gotcha. So, just let me know if I'm not characterizing this accurately. The Bored Ape Yacht Club and CryptoPunks were sort of first movers, pioneered the model, and because of that, they built a huge amount of hype. Their floor price was raised to the point where their value became their floor price.
Yeah, essentially.
Afterwards, there have been successful NFTs. So what have you seen sort of past the first few movers that kind of just got there because not only that they had great communities, but because they were the first people and they built up hype.
Yeah, so then it shifts from these are the people who are making these kind of ones based off rarity, and it comes in the community, and that's how that worked. And then we see all these other ones like Alien Friends is kind of hitting it. They didn't really offer anything besides the community, but they've been able to make it recently. I know Luke's involved. A lot of these projects
they have invasions. It's called like the big thing that they have is called invasions.
Yeah.
Where it's basically a raffle. It's like if you own an Alien Friend, and if you own like this type, like I have a red one. There's only 1,000 red ones, and then like there's a special pool of like an NFT that gets randomly given to one of the red ones. It's like stuff like that.
Yeah, so it comes down to utility. So you can build in utility to these NFTs aside from just it being rare or whatnot. So for instance, like Ice Poker, which I talked about, and obviously Crypto Raiders, like those are still NFTs. They're not like community-based ones per se. But with Proteus, what we would do, for example, is not just have them divided and have them being certain rarities, whatever. That could certainly be a part of it, but we're building this community, and the access to the community is the main thing. But then on top of that, we could do things like, I don't know, have these meetings be only able if you have an NFT access. Eventually, have plans to like make a Web3 site where you need to connect your wallet and you need to have an NFT inside that wallet to access our kind of dashboard, which gives you like insights or whatever it is. It could be anything. It could be, access to watching certain videos or access to whatever you can think of, really. So I think the ones that have made it pretty well have either been just really good branding. Like I think this is kind of like they kind of hit this on the nail for people who like this kind of cartoony look, and they've done a really good job with that. And otherwise, it's just kind of utility and marketing and stuff like that. But
yeah, I think the three main things are honestly just utility, community, and originality that like differentiate the different projects.
Yeah,
Right.
That's a good way to put it.
Pretty stuff.
But so most of the ones that have taken off have some sort of unique utility in a sense.
Like being in the Discord and like people talking, it's so funny. Like they're like hello friend, and they spell like friend. It's like FREN, like no I or D. It's so funny, and it's really all about like making this idea of like we're gonna become aliens, and that we're gonna like be in the metaverse together, like your alien friends, your friends in the metaverse, like creating like an original idea like that is like such a big part of it. And I think like before they killed it because like their homepage is like actually like it's like supposed to be the place where like all these
Right, I know.
the homepage, like a drawing of it's a drawing of like a bar.
You're kind of breaking up there a bit, Luke, but I think you're hitting on the nail. And there's some that aren't even artsy at all, like the Link staff. You guys heard about that? Like it's just basically a golfing community. They're a DAO, and your NFT you're buying is just like an access pass to the membership at a different membership level. And then they're just going to buy up a bunch of golf courses around America and have them be managed by a decentralized autonomous organization, which is all the people who have it. So oftentimes when you buy the NFT, you're getting governance stake or a stake in their governance, and you basically have equity in the decision making of the whole of where all those funds go. So for like Solon, for example, which we talked about earlier, If you were to have bought like a bunch of those NFTs early on, like you get to decide where the treasury invests its money. So people are all day, based off how many NFTs you have. So you have one, that gives you one vote. So when people say, should we invest in an ape or should we invest in nodes or should we invest in this? Because you own the NFT, you have governance rights. So that's another big part of it.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot. I know. Yeah, I think like the crypto world is a lot, but I think you kind of crush it here. So if you want to keep joining these meetings, that'd be awesome. I do want to hear about what you're working on too. We'll get a one-on-one too. It's been a while.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how to manage everything, juggle a lot of balls.
Right.
I came out wrong. Jesus. So I need to go. I'm driving right now, actually.
Yeah.
But this is fascinating, and I'm, getting all sorts of ideas based on which. So I appreciate it, everyone, and take care.
Yeah, perfect. I think it's time to wrap up for everyone here. But thanks for coming, Caleb, and everyone else. And it's been a great meeting. We'll get to it again next week.
Thank you very much, guys.
Of course. Yeah. Take care. Thanks for coming.